Hello, welcome. It's Tuesday Tips Live with me, Phil Morse, here in the digital DJ Tips studio with another one of our live shows helping you to become a better DJ or a better DJ producer. So if you're new to all of this, every Tuesday we go live on our network, Facebook, Mixcloud and YouTube and Twitch to give you a free lesson. We're the biggest DJ school in the world with 27,000 students, but we're also doing all this free stuff every week to help you, just if you're dabbling and wanting to have a go at this awesome hobby that we call DJing. So we're the people behind Rock the Dance Floor, which is a book you might have seen. It's the best-selling book on Amazon on how to DJ. We are also the people behind our YouTube channel, digitaldjtips.com and all that stuff. So that's who we are, that's what we do. And today our topic is how to throw your very first party. Now this is a really timely one because lockdown's starting to lift, at least across big chunks of the world. People are starting to go out again and events are starting to get booked again. But for DJs, that brings us back to the same old thing, especially if you're a new DJ. How am I going to get a gig? Because all the DJs who were DJing before lockdown are going to be looking for those gigs as well. And it's not like everything's getting back to full speed. So if you're a new DJ or an up and coming DJ, or you're getting back into DJing, it's doubly hard or trebly hard to find gigs. So today I'm talking to you about how to throw your first party. And that's one of the reasons why it's such a good idea to throw parties, because you can book yourself and give yourself a gig. You can also, as your party grows, which I'm sure it will if you stick with it for long enough, start to book the DJs you love and start to get to know the DJs in the scene that you enjoy. And that can open all kinds of doors. So the opening credits were a load of flyers from a club night that I promoted with my DJing partner at the time, Terry Poynton. Hi, Terry. And this club night was called Tangled. It was in Manchester in England throughout the 90s and early noughties. And we started off not knowing what we were doing, just wanting to put parties on for our friends. And this night, over many years, got better and better and grew and grew. And I ended up playing at Privilege in Ibiza, the biggest club in the world, purely through connections made from that night. So promoting your own night can not only get you gigs, but it can get you success as a DJ. Obviously, it can earn you money. You can lose your money as well. We'll talk about that in a bit. It's just a great way to put yourself on the map in your town, in your neighborhood, and to get yourself regular DJing gigs. That's the biggest thing, regular DJing gigs. So lots of reasons why you might want to promote your own event and why now is a great time to do it with lockdown starting to lift, at least in some parts of the world. So I'm going to give you 7 tips today. Very quickly, because we've got an article about this as well, and the article is on that link there, djtips.co/party guide. And this article is pretty extensive. So if you head over to our Digital DJ Tips page, you will see how to throw your first party as the top article there. And this is where you'll go to, and it will link through and show you in a lot more detail what I'm going to talk to you about quickly here today. And this is the place to go if you're interested in doing this. djtips.co/party guide. A big new article. There's a worksheet to download and all kinds of other stuff there to help you. So we've done a lot of work to make this easy for you. This is really about me introducing you to the idea today. Right. So there's your link, and that's what it's going to be all about. Let's get started. 7 things you need to know before promoting your own party. So number 1. Think of the minimum viable product and then halve it. So what do I mean by this? Well, what would be success to you in a room? 50 people, 100 people? When you picture your very, 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 very first event, what would that be? So whatever that number is, the smallest number possible. Don't say, oh yeah, I'm going to do a 1,000-person event. Be honest, the smallest number possible, not the one that you'd love to do, but the smallest number possible. Is it 10 of your friends? You know, what is the smallest number possible? Find that number and then halve it, because that's how many people are actually going to come to your event. So if you think I'd love to play to 50 people, well then you're going to be playing to 25 if you're lucky. So this is really, really important to pick your minimum viable product, number of attendees if you like, and halve that number. That's what you're going for. That's going to inform everything. Because the second point is to find yourself a venue, and you're going to have to think very creatively about your venue, because no decent venue is going to give you its Friday or Saturday night for you to put a party on, Mr. or Miss Unknown. You're going to need to think hard about somewhere that you can do this, and it could either be on a different night to an obvious Friday or Saturday. One thing we used to do was promote when there's a holiday the next day. So there was a public holiday on the Monday, we'd promote the Sunday night, and often venues were free because no one had thought of that. Or somewhere that doesn't normally have events, outdoor, or just somewhere you can talk into doing an event that doesn't normally have it, but you've always thought that'd be a great place for a party. But you want to find somewhere that, you know, if you got half of your minimum viable product number of people in that room, it wouldn't look empty. So, you know, if you say, I'd love to throw a 50-person party, well, really it's going to be 25 people, go for a 30-person venue. And that's okay. It's much better to have a nearly full or a full venue that's tiny than an empty venue for 500 people where only 30 turn up, right? So think creatively about your venue. And it could be daytime. It could be a venue everyone knows, but you could do a Sunday afternoon barbecue party or something when they're normally open in the evenings. A lot of outdoor spaces at the moment, of course, with COVID and stuff. So you're going to need to think creatively about your venue. Point number 3, when it comes to promoting your own events, do not spend anything. It's really important that you keep your costs to an absolute minimum. And there's so many ways you can do this. To start with, don't pay a penny for that venue. They're going to keep any money from the bar. So you need to keep any money from the door if you're charging for tickets. If you're not charging for tickets, you won't make any money anyway. But don't let them talk you into paying a higher fee for the venue. Tell them you're going to bring people so that they'll make money on the bar, and then you take care of those people arriving, because you don't want to be spending money on the venue. You don't want to be spending money on promotion ever. Never spend a penny on promotion on your first party, because it's just going to be wasted money. Now, if you want posters, and you should have posters and flyers and stuff like that, they're still very relevant. Colour photocopiers, someone with a colour photocopier to do them for you. If you want to spend money on Facebook or advertising online, don't, because you can fan the flames of interest, but you can't start a fire. And there's no flames of interest in your club night, because you're an unknown DJ with an unknown brand. So don't do it. The people who come to your event are going to be the people you already know are going to come to your event. That's just the harsh truth. So there's absolutely no point spending money on advertising. So don't spend money on promotion. Pull in freebies. Get friends to do your artwork for you, your design for you. If you're going to have a banner on the wall, then you are going to have to spend a tiny bit of money. But if you head into this saying, I'm not going to spend anything, that's the right attitude to have, because you're going to have to do this again and hopefully again. And if you're losing money every time, it's not going to be a long-term thing for you. So we want you to make a little bit of money. And of course, if you sell tickets, there's a chance of doing that. If not, there isn't. But hey, you won't lose very much by doing this. So don't spend any money. Just keep those costs absolutely tiny. You'll be amazed at how many people want to help, because it's a cool thing, DJing. People like designing flyers. Art students from the local college might want to design your flyer because it looks good on their portfolio and that kind of thing. For like $5, $10, you can get a logo design nowadays online and things like that, but just keep those expenses low. So on our list of 7 things to help you promote your very first club night, number 4, get everyone you know to come to your event, because that is all that's going to happen as far as people is concerned. So what I want you to do is grab your phone and start at A and go to Z or Z. And every single person in that phone who goes out or is likely to go out if you twist their arm, make sure they come to your event and they bring a friend. And do not let them off the hook. Pretend this is the only event you're ever going to promote in your whole life. Pretend you've got a month to live and this is your final party. That's the kind of intensity I want you to get everyone in that phone on in order to get them to come to your event, because they're the only people who are going to. So if you want any chance of an atmosphere, if you want any chance of people saying it was pretty good that, and telling other people, you've got to start that fire. And the way you do that is by the people who are already in your contacts. No one else will come. Face it now. It's called tough love. It's the truth. So get everyone you know to come, and do not take no for an answer, because nobody else will come. So number 5, do all the DJing yourself, or with your DJing partner or partners in the event. It's always good to partner up with other people. I used to partner up with people when I promoted. It was much more fun. But do the DJing yourself. One, you're good enough, and if you're not, you'll learn really quickly. Two, you can't afford the kind of DJs that would make a difference to people arriving at your event. You can't pay the money for someone who would be big enough to make a difference as to who's going to walk up to your event on the night. So don't spend any money on DJs. If you're going to involve other DJs, then involve them as partners in the event. But do the DJing yourself. You are good enough, and the whole point of doing this, presumably for you, as it was for me, would be so you can actually get to DJ in front of a crowd, right? So don't get the jitters on that. Do the DJing yourself. Number 6, at the event itself, get the email address of every single damn person who's in there. Yes, you know them. Yes, they're in your phone, but they'll bring friends, and get a list of people and make that your email list for your event. And then the next time you do an event, you can email them and you can tell them about it. The email list is your solid gold secret weapon for getting people to come to your event. So do not let anyone leave. We used to have someone with a clipboard. You might have an iPad where they can put their email address in, and then you can send them a link to your Mixcloud or something to get music. You know, sell it like, hey, do you want the music from tonight? Just put your stuff in here. Take photos around the event and say, hey, do you want to see the photos? Put your email address in here, but get those email addresses from everyone. Have someone help you if you don't want to do it yourself, but don't let anyone leave that venue without giving you their email address. And number 7, do it regularly. You're never going to get yourself regular DJ gigs unless you promote your night more than once, right? But, and there's a big but here, be realistic. So the chances of you going from 0 to promoting an event every week when you are probably working full time anyway, and you've got family and you've got other commitments, is pretty much a big fat 0. The chances of you doing it monthly is probably a big fat 0. But you could start off by saying every single holiday, every single public holiday, we're going to do it the night before in the venue you found. I'm just giving you an example, which might end up being 8 nights a year. Now that's a big commitment, but if you stick to that and you're consistent with that, people will start to trust it and they'll start to associate holidays with your event. Great, now you're established. Now, if it starts to build into something more serious, then maybe you could go once a month and then move on from there. And that's exactly how we did it. Public holidays, then once a month, then once a fortnight, then once a week, and we kept the public holidays. But that was when we were, you know, a group of people committed to it, and it was all we did. I didn't have a job back then. My job was DJing and promoting, and I threw myself into it for half a decade, and that's the kind of commitment you need if you're going to go weekly and all that stuff. So just, you know, just do half a dozen events a year, but make them really good. Do everything I've talked about here, and you can book yourself, you can start to get a name in your town, you can have some great fun DJing. Your DJing will improve hugely. And you'll be a resident DJ, and that is going to get your name out there, and it'll open doors in your town, in your neighborhood, in your city, to talk to people who can take you up the next step of the ladder. And then you might find that the venue and the party you promote is just a stepping stone to becoming an established DJ in your town, or you may want to carry on doing it because you love it so much. But either way, I think promoting your own events is a great way of getting on in DJing, and I think that has to start somewhere. So make it with your first ever party. So very quickly, one more time, pick the minimum number of people and halve it. Be realistic. Think creatively about your venue. Different times of day, different days, places that don't normally have events. Don't spend anything, keep your costs to an absolute minimum. Get everyone you know to come, because no one else will. Do all the DJing yourself. Get the email addresses from absolutely everyone who comes, and do it regularly, but be realistic. And I wish you the best of luck with it, because promoting your own events is such an awesome way of getting bookings and moving on in DJing. It certainly was for me. Right, okay, so that's our lesson for today. Remember, there's a big ultimate guide to doing this, and that's why I'm talking to you about it today, because we just published this right now, djtips.co/party guide. So do head there if you want more information on this. There's a worksheet you can download and an awful lot more info there about things like branding and how to get people to help you with your design, and how to pick the music style, and how to talk about music, and all this kind of stuff. I've really poured my heart into this, and this is something I did for 12 years, promoting events, so I know an awful lot about this. So if you're interested in taking this further and reading more about it, it's just gone live on Digital DJ Tips today, this big new article called How to Throw Your First Party, a guide for DJs, and it's at that URL there, or just go to the website to find it. Right. So, for the final 10-15 minutes of today's Tuesday Tips Live, as ever, I just want to chat to you guys and girls about this because this is what it's all about. It's about you. So if you're watching this, it's a live show that we are doing here if you're watching the recording. And if you are watching the recording and wished you were here live, well, you know by now the drill. There, djtips.co. Wherever you are, YouTube, Facebook or whatever, just click subscribe, click like page, click show posts first, do all that stuff. And then we can let you know when we go live. So do that. And if you enjoy this, please hit share. That really helps us. Right, let's have a look at what you have to say about this. Lots of you just saying hello. So as you probably know, if you're regulars, we do all the hellos, we do all the interactive stuff on a Thursday now, and we try and keep this on topic on a Tuesday, so people watching the replay can get the most value from it. So let's talk about promoting events. So ex-Cosa down there in Perth says, it's quite ironic because I've got my first gig this weekend, an 18th birthday, and I'm extremely nervous. Well, I hope it goes very well for you. I'm absolutely sure it will. So good luck with that. So our next live comment about promoting yourself. Oh, I know this is off topic, but hey, I can't resist it. I can't resist it. Craig's saying, great balcony beats on Sunday. This is my live DJ set that I do every 2 weeks. We were on the beach, so David says a bit less windy there today. Yeah, it was very windy down on the beach, I have to say. Right, so I'm looking for chat about promoting your own events. So if you've got questions about promoting your own events, then ask them in the comments on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll get to you. DJ Ginormous, I'm picturing looking at the room and saying we're going to need a bigger room. It's far better to do that than to look at the room and say, where is everyone? And just have that horrible feeling that no one's going to turn up. Joe says, my first club nights were the Sunday night slot. I did that for a year or so, and then I got the Friday night. So that's really cool, you know, just to hear that is working out there in the real world as well. You know, it worked for us, but I'm glad it's not just me. I like the afternoon of the Sunday. I like the sound of Sunday afternoon gigs, says Simon. Yeah, they're really good. I used to do an awful lot of that myself. Lots of you just telling me what the weather is like. And Mixmaster G did the same thing almost 40 years ago. Sunday afternoons from 3 p.m. Those gigs were packed. Good to hear that. Simon's getting excited about this. I could fill a Sunday afternoon party with 7 to 11-year-olds. I'm not sure if they'd buy a ticket. Hey, there's more than one reason to promote parties other than just taking ticket money. Yes, this is live, Alex. So Lou says, hi Phil, I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Lou. It can't be any old venues. It needs to have an appropriate PA system. Think outside the box. You can always rent a PA system, or even better, borrow one so you're not spending money. My team helping there with a link to the party guide, so thank you very much. Craig is saying, no, I'm not doing kids parties anymore, they drive me crazy. But hey, everyone has their tolerance levels, don't you? Simon says, I think anyone who does what Phil does is talking about is a real life superhero. I take my hat off to you. I couldn't do it. No, promoting is really something that you've got to really want to do. You've got to really see the benefits, because it is a lot of work. You know, I remember DJing the first half of a lot of events that I was promoting at, and I was in the DJ booth and I was watching the event fill up, and I knew at 11 o'clock, by how many people were on that dance floor at 11 o'clock or in the venue, I knew how busy it was going to be, and I could predict to within a few pounds how much money we were going to take. But, you know, if there was no one on the dance floor, I knew we were in for a bad night, and my job was to get the party started. So you really have to separate the promoter side of your head from the DJing side of your head. And, you know, try and enjoy what's going on in front of you, because it doesn't always go your own way. That's for certain. Someone over on our Facebook group says, great advice, Phil, as always. Great timing with Set for Love coming up. Yeah, that's become an annual thing now, hasn't it? The Set for Love charity events. By the way, if you have just joined us, we're talking about how to promote your own club nights. And the reason we're doing that is that we've just launched a guide on it, on how to throw your first ever party. So if you want to see that guide, it's over on our Digital DJ Tips DJ website, digitaldjtips.com. Head over there and you'll find this article there now, or just go to the link that's on the screen now. And there's a big guide there about how to do this. So that's why we're talking about this today. And of course, lockdown's finishing for a lot of us. It's all opening up. And so now is a great time to start promoting yourself. Mickey says, all of this is true, Phil. I've been DJing for almost 40 years. How do you go about finding a venue for your own event? Well, you have to, as I said, think outside the box. You cannot approach the premier venue in your town and say, I want to do Saturday nights for you. Of course you can't. Find the tiniest, microscopically small venue in your town and then try and promote a night that they haven't already got a booking for. Like I say, a night before a holiday. You have to find a venue that is going to take a risk on you, and it's not going to be one of the big ones. So you really do have to think. It's one of the hardest things to do, but you really do have to think very carefully about where you might promote. So we had our very first gig was in the bar of a hotel. So there was a hotel, we noticed the hotel bar was empty all the time. So we said, look, let us do a party for you in your hotel bar. Once, I think it was in summer. It was one of those hotels that was always busy in student term time, but never busy in the student holidays. So we did it in like June when the students had all gone home and town was just dead. And we said, look, let us just do a party in your bar for you. And we did, and it worked. It was totally inappropriate for a hotel bar, all these ravers hanging from the ceiling. So they were like, well, good news and bad news. Good news is that was great. Bad news is you're never doing it here again. But it was a chain and they had other venues. So then we had a little bit of leverage to get into one of their other venues. So you've got to think creatively. So Yash says, how can I become a promoter in my city or country? I'm from India. Well, I can't help you with the specifics there, but look around at what other people are doing is a good time to start. What credentials, if any, should one think about providing if you are wanting to do this? You just promise. You promise that you're going to get 30 people in their venue and they're going to spend loads of money at the bar. You make sure that happens. So that's the credentials they want. Convince them that you're going to do it. You've got to have a vision for this, and you've got to convince other people. That's called entrepreneurship. So that's what to do. Make sure you get the sound right, says Vic. Check the venue beforehand, and if possible do a sound check, even if it's with your own gear. Yes, definitely. Alex, Phil, what's a good percentage of the bar takings to ask for if we're paying for the room? Don't pay for the room, just let them keep the bar and you take any money on the door and keep that, would be my advice. I like your book, says Alexis. Oh, thank you. Just to let you guys and girls know, actually, I showed you the book at the beginning. It's called Rock the Dance Floor. It's the #1 selling book on Amazon on how to DJ, but you can have a copy of this book for free. Yes, for free. Go to the website, click the book at the top where you can read our book online. Here it is. But also, whoops, that's jumped me completely out of there. Let's just get rid of that again. There we go. But also, so all the chapters are here. So it's great. You can read the book here and see reviews of it and stuff. But also you can download the PDF of the book. If you're not already a member of Digital DJ Tips, you get a PDF of the book just for joining. So enter your email address there to do that, and you also get a gear guide as well. So you get 2 books for the price of 1. And of course you can buy the book on Amazon if you wish. So I'm glad you enjoyed the book. Thank you for the heads up there, Alexis. Right, let's talk a little bit more about our promoting club nights. Now listen, if you've got other questions, that's cool, but come back on Thursday, because on Thursday we have an hour of Q&A. Now I had to cut it short last week. I do apologise for that. I had to go to the doctor and I was late, but the doctor is across the border from Gibraltar. Gibraltar, where we're based, is right in the very south of Spain. Tiny little British speck of land in the south of Spain, which is where Digital DJ Tips is. But my doctor was in Spain, and I was very apologetic. There was a big queue to get out of Gibraltar that day, and we were late setting off, and got to the doctor, and I was very apologetic, and the doctor said, you're not late, this is Spain, everyone's late. So I was like, okay. So but anyway, I had to cut Thursday Q&A live short by about half an hour last Thursday. I'll be here for the full hour this week, I'll promise you folks. So if you've got any questions which are not related to our topic today, come back and ask them then, and we'll deal with that for you. Jose says, if the venue has gear, should you still provide your own? There's no correct answer to that. Just look at it. Do you want to use their gear? Would you rather bring your own? Totally up to you. So Fred is just, I guess you're in Torrevieja up the coast here from us, so hello. DJ Ginormous says, and hello to Chad in Bangkok. DJ Ginormous, back in the day I used to design flyers for our event. We could get 5,000 flyers printed for about $100 and then we got hot girls and guys to distribute them at local events for free cover. Yeah, exactly. So just try and do everything on the cheap, really do. Now everyone who's asking their questions, cut and pasting over and over again, do not do it. It just clogs up what I'm reading and makes it harder to keep the flow going here. If your question's not about this, come back on Thursday, but even if it is, ask it once please, and we'll answer it if we can. Could you post the link to the article in the description? So I've seen that my team have been doing that, Albert, so that's cool. I'm back doing weddings, says Ryan. I have a 400 guest count this Saturday, big wedding. I'm really glad to see that. You know, it's so nice to see DJs playing again. Alex, find a venue that's empty on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Spend money in there with all your mates. Then ask if you can do a night there. Yeah, you know, go there first, get to know people. It's a good way. What if I have no friends, but I have my mum's friends come over for her birthday? I think it's the same thing. It's just only me preparing for a set and my mum is handling everything else. Yeah, perfect. It's just, you know, what I'm trying to show you here is, I'll just try and scribble it on a piece of paper. So here's the biggest mistake that people do. This is one of my infamous little drawings. So this is the people in your phone or your mum's phone, this little inner circle. The outer circle is the people, I can't do this backwards. I don't know why that's going to help you. The outer circle, or the middle circle, is the people they know. The people in your phone, those people there. These people here are the people they know. That is all you can expect to come to your event. So what a lot of people do is they say, oh, forget the people I know and the people they know. They're not cool. I'm not bothered about them. I'm going to go for these people, everyone else in my town. I'm going to spend loads of money on advertising and do a really cool house night or techno night or something. It doesn't work like that. You start in the middle and it ripples out over time, over a few events. And so don't disregard the people you know. Quite the opposite. They're the only people who are going to support you at the beginning. Don't be too cool for school and go for like something that you can't do and that's going to fall flat on its face. So I'm about to throw my first electric night techno. What else should I tell them other than promising 30 people and they're giving me the space for free? It's a nightclub. I'm booking a headliner. Well, I wouldn't book the headliner. I'd do the music yourself. Your headliner, unless you've got a lot of money, isn't going to bring anyone in. But apart from that, you don't have to tell them anything else. Promise them 30 people and say they're going to spend. That's all you've got to do. Questions about promoting your own events, people. Just going to take one or two more and then we're going to get out of it. So best or first speaker for hosting a house party? It's a great question. And I would say my favorite speakers for house parties are the soundbox speakers. So if you don't know soundbox speakers, they are I'm just going to try and show you what they are, because we've actually about to publish an article on them. I'm not sure if we've even published it yet. We might have done. I can't remember. I lose track of what we have and haven't published on the website, to be quite honest with you. But soundbox speakers are a great mix between a speaker for your, you know, like a Bluetooth speaker that can connect to everything, and you can put more than one of them together, and they'll all talk to each other. You know, modern Bluetooth speakers and PA speakers, and they're really cool. So no, we haven't actually published our soundbox speaker review yet, but I can show it to you because hey, I can get in the back end. I can get in and look at all the things we haven't published yet. So while I'm talking about it, I'm going to go to the post on the website, load the soundbox review and show you. So this is going to be publishing hopefully in the next few days. And it's our review of these speakers. So let me just go to the reviews section in the back end of our website, which is running very, very slowly for some reason, probably because I'm hogging all the bandwidth. No, it's not even there yet. It's not even been prepared yet. Well, that's okay. So I'll show you their website instead. So these speakers are literally, they are the solution to speakers that you can use at home and you can use in your parties. And I would really recommend if you want to go and buy a speaker, you can buy one and then you can add to it. These are the ones to go for. So this is their website, Soundbox. They look like this, but they've got all the smarts of Bluetooth speakers. Now they're not cheap, but you're not going to explode them by mistake playing at parties. They're bulletproof. So I really recommend these. I think these are excellent. As I say, our review is coming very soon, and you can read that. You can get them a bit cheaper than that as well if you shop around. There's a little tip. So that's the speaker I would recommend for your first house parties if you have to buy something. And as I say, you can use it at home as well. So it's like replaces having to buy home speakers too. What kind of generator should I use for beach or outside parties? Again, I'd recommend you use these speakers here. You can get about 5 hours out of those speakers with the battery pack, which is just absolutely awesome. It saves you having to worry about a generator. Peter says, great list, Phil. With this information, I'm going to plan an outdoor event or two this summer. I'd like to set up at a local park, similar to what you do for Balcony Beats. That's awesome. I'd love to know how you get on with that. Don't forget to play to the crowd that's attending the gig. Gauge what you can play at the event by reacting to the crowd there. It's very, very good advice. DJ Cranking Chris, thank you for that. Thank you for that too, G Brown. What can I say? Are the soundbox speakers latency free? Yes, they are. They have a special technology that means that you can link two of them together wirelessly and they work without latency, which is pretty damn cool. So should you go for off nights at venues? Yes, definitely. That's the way to do it. Obviously, you need to be able to fill that night, but that's why I think nights before, like Bank Holiday Mondays or Public Holiday Mondays, are really good. This is a great question for Philip. I love you. You're asking a lot of details here. I like this. For setups with subwoofers on the floor, how do you get people to stop putting drinks on or near them? You can actually buy like little Apex roof fittings that go on the top of your subwoofers, so you can't put your drinks on it. But you could also make something like that. But it's a great question. I remember when I promoted the club night that I promoted for many years, one of my friends came and sat on the subwoofer at the beginning of the night with his drink, and the venue manager came up to him and said, "Will you get off that speaker?" And he's like, "I'm not causing any harm." And he grabbed me by the neck and said, "Get off my speaker." And this little guy was, well, you wouldn't mess with him, the venue manager. Anyway, my friend Paddy never sat on that speaker again. That's for certain. So DJ Ginormous is a former club manager and promoter. We were always looking for ways to bolster our off nights, and we're less likely to hand the reins of our established nights to someone else. Of course you were. You know, that never happens. It's why you've got to think outside you've got to think outside the box on this stuff. Blake says that our friends over at Crossfader have done a great video review on the soundbox speakers. That's awesome. Ours is coming out soon as well, so you'll be able to see that too. Right, I think we're probably done here for today. We've been talking about 7 tips for promoting your very first night now that lockdown has lifted, for a lot of people anyway. And also, we've got an article on it, djtips.co/party guide. So you can go and have a look at that article. It's over on our website here. And that's just gone live today. If you want to get more information there, do feel free to ask questions in the comments on Facebook and YouTube, and we will answer your questions there, even if you're watching the recording of this, because that's what we do. We try and help you, even if you're on the recording. But hey, that's the wrong caption to start with. But hey, the best thing to do is to subscribe, because then we can let you know when we go live with this stuff. And finally, if you want a copy of the book, which I keep holding up, then you can get a copy of that book by simply joining the website. And that's that one there, djtips.co/join. We'll send you a PDF of Rock the Dance Floor, our guide to how to succeed as a DJ. So combining that with the stuff I've just given you about party promoting, you could DJ your very first party this summer on your own. So don't be a stranger, reach out, ask for help. We're here in the comments underneath wherever you're watching this to help you with this stuff. But I am done here for today. Simon says, thank you for the great tips and stories. You're welcome, Simon. DJ Ginormous, when approaching venues for your events, always lead with what's in it for them. Exactly. I'm going to leave that there. People, thank you very, very much. It's always a shame we can't answer everything, but look, we're back on Thursday, so all your questions that weren't about this, just come back on Thursday, we'll deal with that then. Meanwhile, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again very soon. Till next time, bye-bye.